light came on. I didn't even think about getting gas. They're open up here,
Do you
thank
want me
goodness.
to tie it up?
So I
You
just,
got a card?
no, I just
Why
put
come
cash.
think of it, they can't, they don't take cards anymore.
Nope, I just cash.
Oh, you paid them,
Yeah.
you got gas.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You had to go, oh, there was somebody there?
Yeah, there's two guys sitting there, I don't know who they are, I don't know
Oh,
who
they-
anybody is anymore.
They were working.
Yeah,
One was a Mexican, he usually working there. He cleaning and
okay.
works on the vehicles and that there.
Grandpa, can I try tying it?
Go ahead, honey, I don't care,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, honey bunny.
It's just supposed to leave it, it's just supposed to so the hammer don't disappear.
Yeah.
That's what it said.
Who painted that one, Dad, that,
The name was on there.
okay.
I can't think of it right now. It was, he originally lived in Selby. I was digging a basement there in Selby and right next to the home where he lived. And he painted this picture for me in a few minutes.
Oh, really?
Dyson.
Dyson, yeah.
Dyson.
Yeah.
D-R-Y-S-O-N. Dyson. He went to California and made millions.
Yeah,
Painted them by the thousands.
it's a cool,
What does
it's
this
a
thing
cool
do? What does
painting.
this thing do?
Oh, that's
A taser?
it's just a unit for in a car.
Oh, you're gonna have lots
It's
of car
stuff
units
just
in
got
this.
thrown in.
Did this break?
It looks like it has been broke a bit. It's a little deer,
Deer?
yes. Or is it a giraffe? No, it's a
Yes,
giraffe.
Yeah.
It's a giraffe.
He was just about to tease you that it's not a good looking deer. It's gonna be a giraffe. I could
there's-
just
Something wrong with that deer's neck.
There's some deer around, laying around here now
Yeah,
too. There's
yeah.
deer and giraffes and Christ almighty, you might find most anything.
You killed a giraffe before?
No, I've never killed none. No,
You'd be a major buddy if you did that.
no. I've seen giraffes.
But you did not kill
He's
one.
seen
No,
giraffes that were
I
not
never
in
even
a
got
zoo.
close.
They-
Never even got
Oh,
close.
Grandpa has seen giraffes that weren't in a zoo.
Yeah.
They were like out where they belonged. That'd
Were
be
you
pretty
hunting
cool,
for
huh?
them? Or
What?
were you like sneaking up on them?
No, no, no. No, we were driving and we seen them.
Have you seen a lion before?
Lion, no.
Not like
I have never seen a real live lion, no.
that is out like
No,
Not in the
no,
zoo?
I have not. I've seen wallaby and kangaroo and stuff like that. I have seen pythons huge enough to carry a man off.
Wow. They have that problem in Florida going on, Dad.
I see that on the news.
Yeah.
Well, you see, they buy them as little pets.
Yep.
And then they start so they flush them down the toilet and they get in the Everglades. There's all kinds of crap in the Everglades now.
And now they can't stop them, and they're saying the only way they won't come this way is because they're cold blood. They can't live in the cold.
Well, see,
What if they start hibernating?
in New Guinea, the 113th engineers were right next to us.
Okay.
And one night, a boy was in the latrine, and a python come in and took him.
Oh Jesus.
So then they set up floodlights and everything else, you know, because they come once, they're going to come again.
Yep.
And I don't know, it was 2 or 3 days later, and I happened to be in the group too for Crossfire. That thing was huge. Let me tell you, it was huge.
Wow.
And it come in to get a guy, and before it was dead, they opened fire on it. And they opened fire with most everything you can think of, but nothing, no cannons or nothing like that. All small, 50 caliber and
Firearms.
smaller
Okay.
like that. Well, they got back into the jungle, and it was at night. We didn't dare go in
Yeah.
for fear, you know.
Well, it'd take you
We
off.
went. I went out the next morning, and you couldn't lay your hand on that damn thing from end to end. That didn't have a bullet hole in it, and yet it made it into about 50 yards into the jungle.
Wow.
And
How
it
long-
was shot from head to tail,
Wow.
full of holes. I bet there was over 1,000 shots in it.
That's in New Guinea, see, that's another warm weather climate.
Well, that's
There's
on
nothing-
the equator, that's down on the equator.
There's nothing to
It's hot.
stop it
It
from
was-
growing.
It was 110 at night.
I don't
a lot
know
of
how many eggs they have in their bunches, but they have bunches of little beggars.
But I don't know how they multiply, to be honest about it, whether they lay eggs or whether they
I
have
watched
their
a
young.
program on
See,
TV.
they
and it's
don't
an
eat,
egg
they
layer.
don't eat what they do. They just wrap around it and it just becomes part of their body
Yeah.
pretty soon.
It's
They
scary.
just squeeze it to death,
Yeah.
Squeeze what today?
whatever they take. A person, a pig, or
Dogs,
a dog,
Like a-
anything.
goat.
Like a python that what is
They're constrictors.
They're
Oh.
snake.
yeah?
Only they're huge.
Yeah.
This one was about this big around. That one's about that big around. He
That's
was
bigger
almost
than you
20.
are.
Yeah, he was
Jesus.
huge. It was a huge thing.
Excuse me. Like there.
Now that one didn't go like this on the ground. It went like this on the ground.
Hmm.
So I wonder if it was like a crossbreed.
No, it's not supposed to be. It was python. They said.
Jesus.
And like, what is the biggest like snake in the world?
Python, I guess, as far as I know, python.
Like
Those in they showed on TV, they were, I suppose,
Yeah,
about that
Yeah.
big,
yeah,
and then they're a danger.
yeah.
So think of
To
what when
kids
it's
his
that big.
size, these snakes are actually getting kids his size. They're getting dogs, they're getting sheep, anything that comes down to the water, anything that comes out in the yard. There's actually guys for that job. You call them and tell them and they'll come out and get your python. That's how bad they are. How do you stop them from coming in? If there's a space, they can slither in there. You know? It scares you because you just kind of wonder, what the hell?
Now the Everglades are rebuilding and redoing, but when we had amphibious camp, that was in part of the old Everglades.
Oh,
They
really?
had burned off and you know the sand, hell, we'd sink in the sand and yeah, and it was.
You mean for the
where they-
training?
Yeah, when we
For your
took
training?
amphibious training.
Yeah.
See, there wasn't no amphibian corps at all before World War II. There was no amphibian corps.
Wow.
We were there were no ones to do it, and there was no ones to train.
Okay.
And so we were, our division, the 38th Division, was the first division that went in for amphibious training.
Wow. I got a question, Dad. There's this, it's called, what is that called, Natasha, that Valor? It's a trip of a lifetime for the veterans. You go and see,
Not interested in it. If you
not
ask.
at all?
Nope. I have said lately, I've told several, that I guess of all my interest in traveling, I'm not interested in traveling at all.
Okay.
I don't know, I thought while I was in the service and that, and even shortly after I got out, I'd like to go back to the Hawaiians.
Yeah.
I got no interest in going anywhere. I mean, I don't even hardly go to Aberdeen anymore. But to go see some of that shit, I seen it and that's enough. It ain't gonna be like it was when I seen it before.
I've talked to several of the World War II vets, Dad, that have gone,
Yeah, I know.
and they've said it's the best thing that they could have done, because they see, some of them have even met guys that were in their
Most
platoon
of
or
them
their
are
groups.
younger though. I mean, they didn't see anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I was a 20-year-old.
yeah,
Now, very few of the 18-year-olds. Now, Leonard did. But you know, he barely got in and was just took his basic and bang, he was in
yeah, he's
not
there.
Okinawa, he was in Okinawa.
Okay.
That's where he got his wounds.
Okay,
But there was very few of the 18-year-olds got out of the United States, and it's most of the 18-year-olds that's still alive.
yeah,
I was a 20-year-old. Most of them was older than I was.
Mhm.
So they're gone.
I know.
I'm 92.
That's why I'm
Most
asking
of what's
you
left
that.
is the 18-year-olds. They didn't see anything. So sure, they want to go. They're World War II veterans
Yeah.
because they were drafted for
Yeah.
World War II,
Well, they were part of the
but they
whole
never
scene.
seen nothing.
Yeah. But they're asking anyone else. I can sign up on the internet. I have the website that if
Yeah.
you wanted to go, they pay for the trip.
I know. I had a guy tell me yesterday. We stood and talked for sat and talked for quite a while. His dad passed away the other day. 88 years old.
Uh-huh.
4 years in the service. I said, "You volunteered?" Lied about his age. No, he was drafted. Impossible.
No,
No way, it's impossible.
no, they didn't have it.
They,
drafting.
the-
You had to go
oh yes,
and sign
they were drafted. Yeah, absolutely, they were drafted. My brother was drafted. I was drafted. Up until somewheres in the 40s, they quit drafting.
Okay,
But for World War II, they drafted clear up into 45.
okay.
Now, they never started the draft rate for 18-year-olds until about 1944, 45. The war was over in 45.
Yeah,
There was no way he had 4 years of service. I didn't have quite 4 years of service.
uh-huh,
I went in 42.
yeah,
They never had a draft for 18-year-olds at that time. So the whole story is prefabricated.
yeah.
And he was supposed to be in the South Pacific. No,
Nothing.
he might have
happened.
went to the South Pacific.
Yeah.
But I doubt it very much. I said, well, then he stayed in well after the war. No, he come out when the war ended. You know,
Then your dates don't
there's
work.
something wrong with that
Yeah.
story. I said, it don't fit. Because I said they never drafted 18-year-olds. I said, my brother was an 18-year-old, drafted out of high school. Out of
Yeah.
his senior year in high school.
That was Uncle Leonard?
Uncle Leonard.
Yeah,
He took his basic and bang, he was in. But very few did. Very
Yeah.
few of them got out of the United States.
yeah,
Most of them did. Most of them never got out of the United States. Now, like I said, some did. But they weren't drafted. They couldn't have, the most that they could have is a year or two of service at the very most.
yeah.
My serial number will tell you that I was the first in the state and county and 15th in the nation of the 20-year-olds. And I was drafted in 42. The war didn't start till 41.
Yeah,
Okay, if you was in 41 and got out in 45, you still only got about 4 years.
you'd have to be there the whole time
Yeah, well,
and have
and
survived
then
any injuries
if you
that
got
you
drafted, you never got drafted.
Yeah,
There was no draft for 18-year-olds until about 44.
okay.
So, you know,
Well, they're asking for anybody, like your mind is so there and you know what happened. They don't have a living history. And they actually video you what's going on, what happened, so that his age group has your history. If you ever think about it and you want to, I'll
No, I don't
organize
want
it.
it. I have no, I seen Washington DC. In fact, I went before Congress in Washington DC because of my mother and 4 brothers and sisters.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to have that many guys of one family going in those
Well, it
circles at
wasn't
one
that.
time.
How the hell was they gonna live?
Yeah.
I was their support.
Mm-hmm.
So there was, everything I had owned before I went in, trucks and everything, the money was spent
Mm-hmm.
for living by that time. And so then my mother, this happened in the first part of November, and by Thanksgiving, Mother had her first check. And she
Good.
had a check they took out, just like she was married, I was married, we were married.
Okay.
She had a dependency allotment,
Mhm.
and it was paid out just like a married couple.
Go home. That
Yeah.
money would automatically transfer.
She went,
home.
got paid for herself and the children.
Good.
She got a paycheck. I never asked her how much she got. And it was none of my goddamn business. Sure, I paid for it, but that wasn't really my business. She took care of the children,
Yeah.
my brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
And then I took out, I had a $10 allotment that I took out for her besides that. And then when I went overseas, I got a little extra money and I took out another $15 a month. Well, at that time you could almost live on $25 a month, but not with 4 children.
Yeah. You're pretty. You'll be struggling, but at least
But she
it's better
wouldn't
than
take-
nothing.
Now, I tried to get
You
her,
got nothing.
I was always lucky at poker.
Uh-huh.
So I always was packing around a little bunch of money. And I begged Mom to take money and buy the house she was living in.
Yeah,
And she wouldn't do it because she knew that I wasn't, she knew exactly how much I drew. Because she studied everything about it.
yeah,
She knew more about where I was than I did being there.
mhm,
Because she studied it.
yeah.
But then,
Well, when it's your kids, Dad, you want to know if they're in danger, where are they and
Yeah.
what can happen.
but then,
It's a good way to pray because you can't fix what you can't help with.
then Sis did, but then we went into solid combat after that. And so then she never did buy that place. I had to buy a place when I got home for her.
Yeah,
And then I didn't get the place I wanted at all. But
That was in
she lived
Berlin?
there until she finished her nurse's training and that, and
yeah,
she became a nurse.
yeah. I
Her
know I
and-
have her picture. That's the
her and
one thing
my-
that you have that I,
My youngest sister became nurses at the same time.
Wow.
It's become quite a story.
wow,
Mother and youngest daughter becoming nurses at the same time.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah, that's.
So then she made her own for the rest of her life.
Yeah. Very independent.
Well, she earned her own, and then afterwards, she lived on Social Security after she had to quit.
See, that's a time when you still could live on Social Security.
Yeah.
Scares me. I don't know
Well,
how I would live on it.
the part of it that worries me a lot is the fact that it's looking more and more like 28, 27, and 28, 29. Everything is getting so big. Everybody's got so damn much money, except the little guy that's broke.
Yeah.
It looks like something's going to happen, and I mean, we cannot continue this way.
Well,
This
that-
way it cannot go on.
It honestly.
We'll have a revolution if it continues this way.
It's the have and the have-nots, and I don't know how it cannot. I don't know how it cannot.
And then there is no pensions. They're all gone.
Nobody stays with a company long enough to get a pension.
Well, they're all gone anyway.
They're-
It don't make any
they're
difference.
gone.
If you got one, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Well,
there ain't no money for it.
exactly.
Army pensions and all those are gone too.
You know, Dad, I watched that whole program of how we give to our 401ks, and that's
That'd
supposed
be
to
gone.
be. It is.
Well, ask Bob about it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, look what Patty and
Yeah.
Bob had.
Yeah,
And now he's got nothing. He's got a...
yeah. How is he doing, Dad? How is Bob doing?
I would say under the circumstances, good.
Okay.
But
Is he
those
still
three
doing
kids were damn
dialysis
well
and-
off when Patty
No
was alive.
kidding.
I mean, they were rich.
Yeah.
Damn rich.
I mean,
And now he's got absolutely nothing.
yeah. Wow.
And Maria and
Trish.
Trish got nothing.
That was a stinky deal again, where Natasha and Tony are in that same kind of boat, where you wait to buy a house, and you're approved to buy a house, so you buy a house, and now the boom went out, and your house is worth half what you paid for it.
Less than half.
It's stinky business. You know,
Yeah, it's...
I don't know how young people get a start.
Well, in the first place, the government takes half of everybody's wages.
Mine
Right
is
off the bat.
Mine is 33%, Dad, and then I also have it taken out for unemployment benefits, and if I want to set anything aside for the future. It's
But they
33%, right off
They
the
take
top.
12% for Medicare and 12% for Social Security,
Mhm.
then your income tax.
Yep,
So if you're paying 33% income
that's what
tax,
I'm paying.
they got 24% there, 24% from your employer. That's 48%, plus the 33%.
Yep,
Actually, the
going
government gets about 88% of your salary right off the top.
and it isn't going to get better.
Don had worked 1 month and had paid him $5,000.
Wow. See, was that at the beginning of the year?
No, that was here in
January
May.
to March or
May.
something?
May.
Yeah,
He didn't go to work till in May.
that's why. The first month you work, they just nail you. My check that month that I had hit my top level in sales, which I get 5%, my commission check should have been $2,000. I got my commission check and I'm like, I paid for their plane ticket to come out, and that's all it was. Just gone.
But he showed me in his first month's work, between Social Security, Medicare, and his income tax, he had $5,000
Yep.
paid in.
I called corporate because I said, guys, you did something wrong on my check here. This is ridiculous. So they did it, and they pulled it up, and they told me, okay, this is exactly how it's calculated. According to them, it's all right. Holy crap.
Well, the thing is now, he's only gonna work probably 6 months, less than 6 months.
Is he still working on the road?
Yeah, he'll be
Good.
there until fall.
Okay.
I
didn't know if he went back to work
October
or
or
not.
November, yeah.
Okay.
See, he wasn't recalled, he drew $300 a month recall unemployment,
Okay.
$300 a week.
A week. That's a good amount of money. not
It was on
giving-
recall,
Okay.
and it wasn't enough for him. He couldn't, well, anyway, but now he will work until probably the last of October and maybe into the 1st of November, depends on how things go. They're getting so damn much rain down in that area that
It's
they
been
are
red
behind.
spray.
They had almost caught up to where they were on schedule.
Okay.
And they figured to be done by, hope they're done that 17 miles by fall.
Where's he working?
Right there by Brookings.
Oh, we just went through there.
Well, okay, where you had the bypass,
Uh-huh.
that's where he's working on that part.
Oh.
The other lane, he's working on the other
Okay.
lane. On
You know
that,
that where I said they
Yeah,
have to
I know.
chew it up, spit it out, and put it back down again?
Yeah.
that's what they're doing.
That's where Donnie is.
Yeah, he's
So
running
where's he staying?
in the motel in Brookings.
Okay.
He thinks nothing of paying $50 a night to stay there.
Yeah.
Of course, the
But it won't help you out. You buy
the company
shampoo.
company
Little
pays,
shit.
the company pays all but Sunday, he has to pay his own Sunday night. During the week, they pay his room.
Okay.
But Sunday night, he goes back down, and he can't possibly sleep in his pickup Sunday night.
No.
He's gotta, cause he's gotta have rest for Monday. So he has to have a room which costs you $55. And it's too goddamn much to pay anything to stay here. Of course, he could stay there for what it costs fuel to come home. He could stay there on the weekend for the fuel it costs to come home. But now, last week he brought that pickup home. He took my trailer and loaded a car on it, took it to Huron. And then he took it down and he bought that pickup and he brought the pickup back. Now this weekend, if they work Saturday, he might not come home this weekend.
So Isaac came and got his car.
He came Tuesday and got it.
Yeah.
Now that was one goddamn good gift.
Yeah.
Somewhere between
Yeah.
13 and 30,000 bucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
I'm glad he got it himself, though, Dad, so that he
I
can take and
think
get
he
it
sold
fixed.
I actually think he sold it.
That's not what CJ said.
I know she didn't. But there
And I don't know her to
he
be
had
dishonest.
he had nothing to say about anything. The other guy did all the saying, all the doing. So I think he sold it. Don said he'd heard he'd sold it. You
How
know,
would
there's a hell
Johnny
of a
know
great
from
one.
Denver?
How there's
He's
a
so
goddamn.
full of shit he could just
No,
get
I know he
brown
is.
eyes.
But I tell you what, you can't believe the grapevine there is amongst antique
Well,
cars,
yeah,
where they're
and
at,
that kind of car.
where
that's
they're
true.
at, and the real, the real rare ones.
Yeah,
There's
That's
a
true.
grapevine that's unbelievable.
that's true.
Of all of them, Novas, Camaros,
Yeah.
I mean to tell you the
What did he
information.
have, Dad?
What's that?
What was that one? A Charger?
Don's?
No, the one for Isaac.
No, that was, the Charger is not rare like that one. This was a Sizzler. It was only made,
That's what it was. Yeah.
a Demon Sizzler,
Yeah.
made in 1971,
Yeah.
half of 71 and half of 72. That's all it was made. It's got its own color, its own
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
A beefed up motor in it,
Yeah.
which could be a 340 in there.
Dang it.
It's a very, very rare car. and it is like the Demon. So it's something that you can get, you know, it's not so rare.
You can
that
get parts.
you can get all the
Yeah.
parts that you need
And
for
it's
it.
not like these new computerized cars.
No.
That, you know, it's all that kind of pain in the ass to
But
fix.
all the questions was asked by the other guy. I'm quite sure I just think he sold it.
Okay.
I mean, if it was still his and that, he would have, you know, been doing some of the saying.
I would want
Been
to ask
doing some
everything,
of-
yeah.
But actually, he was just like a bystander there.
Huh,
Utterly a bystander.
huh.
The other guy asked all the questions. He was the one that seen to it, how it got hooked up, how everything was done. He was seeing to it that nothing got hurt.
Okay.
I think that either he had it bought or he had seen to it that it was bought, and he was.
I hope he buys a
He's
house
the
or
one that-
something that will be his then, that he can say what he got from it, because if it's just cash, you know it's gonna be gone.
I have no
'Cause that's what
idea, but
happens.
I would.
Huh,
My feeling is he sold it because the other guy, you know, he asked all the questions.
well, that's a hell of a trip
He
to
has
come
all-
down here with a flatbed to get it.
And it was
No.
his son's pickup that brought it out in. I mean, it was a rented
Trailer. to get
trailer.
it. Yeah.
And him and the boy did all the hookup. Didn't do a bit of it. All they did, every bit of the hookup, seen to it, everything was anchored right and everything. I mean, it tells me he sold it,
Sounds a little suspicious.
Tells
don't
me
it,
he sold
Dad?
it.
Yeah.
that it wasn't his
Yeah.
anymore, it was theirs.
You know that old dump truck that you had right behind where the coal bin is? It's got a boom on it in the back.
It's right over here.
Is it up there now?
It's always
Does
been
it
there.
have round headlights?
It's right there. Look out the window and you can see it.
I want to see
49
because
International Pickup.
there's a guy in Cedar Rapids who rebuilt one.
Right straight ahead of you almost. Not quite that far.
Yeah,
Just-
that one.
yeah?
Yeah,
That's a 49 International.
that's the coolest old truck. There's a guy in Cedar Rapids who has one. He